Alright, welcome in everyone. We are here today with DJ, who will be back in a moment, so we'll get him to say hi when he's there. But we've also got my usual co-host of Age Kitsune, if you want to say hello, Kit. Yeah. As usual, the song that we've coming in to is a part of the Plan song. We had their lead singer Wraithbound or Cody on podcast a couple of weeks ago. We even got a clip of basically them saying that they are cool with us using and anyone using their music, which yeah, I just realized I hadn't unmuted it. My bad.
Oh no.
Record time.
So
you missed my whole intro.
Kit, say hello again, but there's the link to POTP.
It's been an interesting week to say the least. And CJ is back. Welcome in, CJ.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I had to speedrun making a drink. Fastest I've ever made one.
But yeah, as usual, we come in to part of the plan as again a picture of the band in case and their YouTube channel if anybody wants to go and check them out. We have CJ with us, who is also still live. So if anybody wants to go and hit him with a follow, go right ahead. It's literally the name that's in the title. In fact, Kit, do you want to do an SO because you're mod anyway? Do that. So yeah, CJ,
Yeah.
do you want to say hello? Give a little bit of a feel on like how long you've been doing Twitch, like what you hope, what you wanted to do to like the reason you started, sort of thing.
So, Twitch for me has been a weird way of like the starting point. I've got two different starting. I started when I first got my PS4 back in 2014, and I decided I wanted to stream some Call of Duty Ghosts, but I never really like decided I was going to stream all the time. It was just a random made a Twitch account, went live, and I would just randomly go live like once, twice a month when I felt like doing like high rounds on zombies or something. But then I somehow managed to hit affiliate doing like one or two a month up until like mid 2018. And then when I hit affiliate in mid 2018, I didn't really stream for a while. And then I decided on the 1st of January 2019, I was going to give streaming a proper go. And then I activated my affiliate and then I just went for it. And then here I am now. So like the two starting dates is February 2014. If you want to be technical, I started streaming. But when I say I properly started streaming is 1st of January 2019.
And you did something pretty rough. Was it last? I think it was last year, wasn't it? You were live pretty much every day.
Yeah, I was live for 360 days out of the 365. Yeah,
Wow.
it was something. Yeah, I was drained by the end of the year though.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I like restarted going at it with streaming in like May last year, and pretty much up until I got my affiliate in September. I think I was going every day, and that fucking drained me. I can't imagine doing like that many.
It has its pros and cons because pros, as you've seen, like I got noticed by Sweatcicle, so like if I wasn't live on that day, I might not have seen her, and like I had the 1K donor, so like the more time is the more exposure.
Yeah.
But I feel like the content was like towards the second half of the year dropping slowly because I was running out of like ideas to do stuff like and like energy as well. Like it was draining like doing it every day as well. Yeah. So there's like it's pros and cons to it, and I think the pros more outweighed the cons in the end.
Yeah. The one thing I do see on your About Me, because obviously I've got it up on the stream, is that you're a medical graduate. That explains that explains how much of a nut you are, dude. Like you done something that. Like I know my mum used to work at a university. Some of the students in her hall were like medical students because it was the university that's tied to the major hospital in my city. So it's like, damn, dude, I see that and I've got like utmost respect that you went through shit like that, let
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, it was a long 3 years. Like, how this is gonna be like the weird story. I was like, when in school, like from the ages of 11 to 14, I was just an absolute like pain in the backside to all the teachers. I was like always the joker, like naughty kid and stuff. And then when it got to GCSE, I realized like, oh shit, my my this is actually gonna like depend on what I do for. And when I started like trying in classes, I realized I really enjoyed science, and that was where I was performing the best. So I just went like down the science route, and like yeah, the third like first and second year of uni, I felt like very comfortable in. Third year is no joke though. Like I feel like everyone that's getting into third year this year realizes like you can't really like I didn't stream much because it was 2019 is when I graduated. So like the second half of 2019, like yeah, I had to like cut back in streams and everything because like I had to put like all my time into just studying that. Like I had 7 uni exams in 2 weeks, which like for that level was like something I've never done before. So I was so stressed. But yeah, somehow made it through.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, I had a slightly easier time with it being only. I say only as if it's like, but compared to medicine and stuff, to software engineering,
Yeah.
and like final year is no joke. There's next to no room for anything other than your study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I respect both of you. For like doing uni.
It's yeah, it's just
Me
a
mys
weird jump.
me myself, I went to college. Straight out of school, I did something I wanted to do, which was like media, and it was going down the whole like games design or like um maybe going into game journalism route. So the course I did was a 1 year course. It was level 2, like BTEC level 2, and I could have gone on to do level 3, which was 2 years, and actually had a like a trip to Tokyo and what's the anime capital of Japan? Forget.
Goddess.
But yeah,
Let's skip.
basically there's a couple of cities, maybe 3 cities in Japan. It's all like to do with games and like learning the design philosophies behind it and all that stuff. Why like Eastern games like Square Enix type games, they're all designed differently to, Epic or Bungie at the time. Obviously, we're doing Halo,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Activision in the US. I struggled heavily with the coursework. Not a lot of people know this. I think you know this, Kit, but I'm dyslexic. So one of the things that I always struggled with was I had the ideas of what I wanted to do, but I couldn't get them down on paper. I have the idea of what I could make better, but I couldn't like write an essay about it. And that's what they wanted me to do. 400 words of an essay of how would you improve each project that you had to do in your coursework regards to college. I was told by one of the tutors there that the next year course, the 2 year course was 1200 words. I was like, if I can't even manage to do 400, I'm not even going to bother trying to do 1200. I'm going to save everybody's time, mine and the tutors, and not even waste and like this is the thing I had with myself is like I don't believe that I would have been able to do it. So I was just like, I'm not going to waste everybody's time. Fuck it. So I didn't do it. I then went and did because I'd done like basic graphics and animations and stuff as part of that 1 year course. I thought, you know what, I can make a business out of what I know from that course. I will go and learn business. And a couple of my mates were doing business in my sixth form at my old school, so I went back and did that. Um, didn't have a lot of fun with that. Basically qualified for an AS level instead of an A level. They offered me the opportunity to go back a second year and do the rest of my coursework so I could get the A level, which I didn't. Like, again, didn't believe in myself, didn't like half of the teachers. So it was like, I know I'm just going to struggle because of like my belief in myself and the fact that I didn't like certain people. So whenever they were like telling me, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that," I'm like, "No, I don't. Shut up." Like, you know what I mean? So I was just like, you know what? Again,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I didn't know what to do for my final year in college, and one of my mates turned around to me. My mate at the time, he's not my mate anymore. Turned around to me and says, "Well, at some point, you're gonna want to learn how to fix your own car, right?" I goes, "Yeah." He says, "And plus, I'm gonna do my own garage. We both have business experience. You've got graphics experience, which will allow you to do like posters and flyers for me. So why don't you come and do mechanics with me? I can get you doing basically all the advertisements and stuff for my garage when I get it, and I can take you on as like um a lower down like mechanic, as it were, because you're doing level 1 with me." Like, all right, and yeah, you know what? Either way, I'm gonna know how to fix a car, and be able to use the qualification to some degree, helping family and friends. So I went and did that, and then come to the end of that year, and they basically turn around and says, "Oh yeah, because you've done a level 2 BTEC, and passed that, we can't take you on for level 2 mechanic unless you pay for it." And nobody let me know that there was a grant I could apply for to get it. I was like, well, that's the end of my college then. Never got any of the the grades and stuff to where I would have been able to go to university off my own achievements. At the time, myself and my mum could not afford to pay for me to go. Um, Although all through college, I was considering going to university for criminal science, so like basically becoming a CSI.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the fact that you and Kit have both done it in something that you're interested in, like I applaud it, to be honest, and I think more people to do that. I've tried to do like instill the love for schooling that I didn't have into my son, and so far it seems to be working.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm just gonna move us on a bit. We've taken a bit of a dive into who we are,
Yeah.
sort of where we've come from, our backgrounds and stuff. Just before we move on to some of the things going on with Twitch recently, CJ, obviously you're on the podcast. You play Destiny a bit.
Yeah.
What else do you play?
Oh,
For anyone who doesn't know.
where do I everything? I like literally I literally play everything and everything. Yeah, like I would say like my most like played games probably Rocket League, Valorant, Apex. But like I just bounce around. Like if a new game like Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out, like a good JRPG, then I'll play that. But like I'm not limited to anything. Like I'll literally play anything that comes out. But yeah.
Cool. So as we've got here up, thank you, Intrepidus. The first topic that we've got lined up, we did. Where's it gone?
I just moved.
Are you rearranging tabs? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a sec there. I don't know what I'm doing. I can just open it on my own. Anyway, yeah. So Twitch receives the highest mark for efforts towards removing Holocaust denial.
So again, Kit, I said this before we started the podcast. I didn't actually go through the Twitch stuff, articles.
Okay.
You will, so
that's fine. So the ADL, or the Anti-Defamation League, an organisation that assists and sort of ranks attempts to fight against defamation. Fairly recently, there was sort of like a big uptick in the conspiracy theories that like the Holocaust didn't happen and that Auschwitz is a fake and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
So companies have been cracking down on the denial of all that. And as it says in like the subtitle there, they had gradings for different companies. None of the platforms got an A. Reddit barely passed with a D. But Twitch did significantly better than other companies at sort of curbing it and keeping it.
Yeah, so Twitch got a B,
platform.
Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok got a C. Facebook, Discord, and Reddit got barely passed with a D, but no platform got an A. Means basically, yeah, it's still going on, but Twitch did the best.
Still going on. They all tried, but Twitch did better than other companies, and it means that like okay,
Mhm.
when they're doing things like that, it kind of makes me proud that that's our little platform. But like they are
Yeah.
doing things to try and stop things in their tracks, or to make things that like
Twitch have always been
big
really good at doing
issues.
stuff like that. To be fair to
Yeah.
them,
To be fair as well, sometimes they go overboard. Like, look at the recent, well, semi-recent, to the point it was about a month or two ago, of oh, now you can't say simp. Like, okay,
well,
but you can say it, but
say it.
you can't
Yeah.
say it as a like me calling
Derogatory
you a
term.
simp. Like,
Yeah.
I just
You
find
can.
it
Yeah. It's
a bit
some
weird.
things they do. Like they also banned the word blind. Like you can't put our blind playthrough.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of people that were blind were just like, we don't care. Like,
Yeah.
why have you done this? Like some things they do are just
I find
okay,
it
why have you
funny.
done that?
I find
So
it funny. Like,
I was just gonna say, go on.
I was just gonna say, I find it funny when that sort of thing happens, like where they do turn around
Yeah.
and say, "Oh yeah, we've got to take this person word, if you will," because it would have been someone that got offended by the whole blind playthrough thing, and they would have said there would have been enough people to get Twitch's attention, and Twitch go, "Okay, that doesn't matter, but like we're getting rid of it," sort of thing. So let's say that was like, I don't know, 40% of all people that are blind. There will be the other 60% that are sat there going, wait, what? Really don't give a shit? These people, these 40% that you are taking the word of are actually just, snowflakes. Like, let us have,
Yeah.
let the streamers have what they've got. Like,
Yeah.
you don't like turn around and say deaf people can't watch Twitch because of the sound. No, you put closed captions on.
So, fun fact about talking about deaf streamers. I've had like a lot of new. I started watching this deaf streamer called Sophie Senpai like recently, just a Rocket League streamer. Just types in chat and because obviously like being deaf can't speak and like I've had like an influx of deaf people coming into my stream now. So I've actually like put on closed captions, realizing like, but they tend to like read lips more than like reading the caption.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like if when I'm not putting face cam on, I put the closed captions on. No. And yeah, it's nice to see like this side of Twitch as well.
But here's the point. The final paragraph of this mentions that yes, while they make an attempt, it's not perfect. So they're saying the reason for the grades, the B grade, stems from its failure to respond to reports from anonymous users, and claiming that the majority of the content reported by the ADL doesn't violate their terms of service or community standards. Now we don't know if that's, obviously when it's sent to a person for review, has that person looked at them and gone, okay, well that doesn't actually violate anything. Like it might not be good, it might not be great, it's a bad idea, but we can't do anything about it as the standards and the terms stand. That's then
Yeah.
it's like, do they change the standards or do they change the way the approach that they take to measuring against them?
I don't know. It's a vague area, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, like I said, it's a
Like,
vague area because
it's like worded so they don't have to. They don't have like direct questions or answers. So they don't like. It's like they want to do something, but they don't know what to do or what to say about it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost.
So while we're on the topic of things that Twitch are doing or might be doing, that could be a little bit heavy-handed, but also an attempt at trying to fix things. There have been reports that VPN users are reporting that their chats don't show up on Twitch streams, so they might be shadow banning VPN IPs.
Oh, wait, I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, see,
So
I've had some of my chats Like I've been typing something and people like so the other night I typed something to Rafe, and I don't know whether he did it or what, but he just didn't even read it. Like, and
That's been a
Rafe's
problem for years though.
Rafe's a good dude, so I feel like he wouldn't just like see the comment and then hit and carry on. And it's not like his chat's going a mile a minute. Yes, there's quite a few people in there, a lot, like 15 people. But yeah. So I've been getting this feeling that some of mine haven't been going through on not just Rafe's stream. That happened the most recent. To the point where I then turned around and went, Rafe acknowledged my funny. I made a joke, and he looked back and read it. Oh, okay. And so it did go through, but it felt like previous ones hadn't. You know that I'd had.
Right.
Yeah,
and I
no.
don't use a VPN, so I don't think it's just VPN.
I was actually gonna say when you said about the messages not going through, this has been a problem for like near enough the whole time I've been like properly streaming. I think it's just sometimes the connections Twitch are not the best, and like I've had loads of times when I've put a paragraph in, talking to someone, and then they're like, "Are you gonna reply to me?" I'm like, "I literally did," and this was like 2019. And yeah, I feel like it's been a problem for ages. I feel just like sometimes Twitch just dips in connection or something, and it like while it reconnects quickly, and you send that during the like downtime of like milliseconds or whatever it could be. That's why it doesn't go through.
Yeah, and maybe the fact that more people are using VPNs nowadays, appearing to be
Yeah,
more
I don't use
shadow banning.
I don't use a
Yeah.
VPN. Yeah. They also said they were going to shadow ban, like if you ban someone. They said this ages ago, but it still hasn't taken effect. They said they were going to shadow ban people with IPs if they've been banned like twice, making new accounts and going back and trolling the streamers. But it still hasn't done it.
So
Like,
it seems to be that, like, it's sort of perceived that this is what's happening to try and deter people away from using them with malintent. Because like they said they were doing, okay, well if you've been banned on, like, I don't know, if you've been banned multiple times from a channel or if you've been banned from multiple channels, then obviously if you try and make new accounts or log in another accounts on the same IP, then we'll just sort of like restrict those when you log in. Well, then people are obviously going to go, well, I'll just change the IP, I'll go through a VPN or whatever.
I don't know. But,
Which is why they were looking at obviously known IPs from VPNs.
yeah,
Because it's the approach that like Netflix and iPlayer and stuff like that do. So like if they know that you're going through one of those and you're outside, you could be outside the country, that like they don't necessarily have the license to stream that content in. Then they're just gonna not let you watch any of it and go like, no,
well,
prove to us that like you're where we can serve.
that's one of the big like selling points for a lot of VPNs is basically like, here, you know, you live in the UK, like go and watch American Netflix, like use the code blah de blah to get NordVPN 30% off or whatever, you know what I mean? That's a big like selling point. So
yeah. This is like weird because like a lot of people are promoting it, and it seems like Twitch are like, no, if it is true.
but the funny thing becomes Twitch is then affecting creators, like marketing, you know, sponsorships, and their bottom dollar essentially. Are they going to do the same thing with sponsors like G Fuel and G Subs and Sneak and all that? No, probably not.
No.
So can you really, you know, start doing this with VPNs?
The other thing that they could be thinking of as well is that a lot of the VPN providers run through DNS servers that specifically avoid anywhere that serves an advert. So let's say that you've got, like, you load a Twitch stream through a VPN, right? And you don't see an ad because the Amazon server that goes, okay, here's the ad for you to play, it just doesn't get a response like that. You know, it's like, oh yeah, that server doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, so if that's one of the things that they're using to try and go, okay, well, if we can stop that and this thing also sort of goes along with it, then because that obviously affects their bottom dollar as well. Then.
True.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they're starting to do more about ads on Twitch as well. Like they recently raised like how much affiliates get as well. So I think
But yeah, I think, to be honest, like they basically just like shadow banning in general. I feel like it's not a good practice. If you're gonna ban someone, just straight up fucking ban them. Like that's my view on it. That's part of the reason why, like, so if you ever see Karma in my chat kit, you'll know if somebody comes in, you won't have to wield your sword because they'll be gone faster than you can say, I'm a mod, calm yourself, because Karma will just straight up ban them because he knows I don't give a shit.
yeah.
Pash is the, prior to you becoming a mod kit, he was the more, you know what, I'll see where this goes, and he'll give them a warning, and then they'll get like, and if they come back at him with some attitude, they'll get timed out. Then they come back again with some attitude, then they'll get banned. That was usually what Pash would do. But he also like trolls a couple people, so you might see oh, what's his name? Comes in from Present, who's who's second gifter on my channel. Them two have like a trolly sort of relationship. She always says like, shut up, Pash. Pash goes, ew, Pash, and all this, that, and the other whenever they're in chat. And Pash, because he's a mod, will just time her out as like as a joke. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so you'll see him troll certain people that we know with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're gonna shadow ban people, like I said, just straight up ban them. What, you don't want them on your platform clearly, so just get rid of them.
Yeah. I don't know like how true it is though, because like they haven't said anything about it, have they? Like Twitch themselves.
So that's the thing, is at the bottom of this is all according to new reports and people saying things and you know, noticing certain things. So like this could be happening to people in general, and they've had more people who are using VPNs say that they've had this issue. So
Yeah.
you know,
Essentially
these
what
are
I was saying.
happening, and there are a lot of people who use VPNs that this is happening to. So like, just be aware this could be an issue if you're planning to use a VPN and watch Twitch.
Yeah, especially now, like in the current climate, we're all like inside. A lot more people are doing work from home. A lot of them get like business accounts for VPNs.
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
that, you know, hackers and shit
All of their
can't
stuff.
get
Yeah.
hacked into company emails and stuff. So maybe that maybe that combined with the more people being at home and watching Twitch whilst they do work, like just lurking and listening,
Yeah.
Is all
is
contributing
all
to
like
to the
contributing,
reports.
yeah, contributing to the reports. Like we said, more people being at home, more people VPNs, more people watching Twitch, which we covered last week. Like we've clearly seen an uptake in Twitch in general, let alone
Yeah.
like the games that we were covering last week, Apex and Destiny. Obviously, we cover Destiny every week, but we covered Apex last week because
Yeah.
Witty plays a lot of it.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much for that. Right, moving on to the next topic, using that as a segue. Right, Witty, along with Witty, along with plenty of other teachers, seems to be working a lot more from home, and we have a professor on Twitch is saying that a way to circumvent or to prevent or work around a lot of fatigue that you seem to find in students who are using the likes of Teams or Zoom to do the meeting, to do their to take part in the lessons. This guy streams his lectures over Twitch, and he, as a gamer himself, uses Twitch a lot and has seen the way that people use Twitch to communicate.
Twitch seems
you know what's funny? His name is Christopher Alexander Yeah.
Yeah.
The professor's name that you're on about with regards to this article. Witty's name is Chris.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the fact that it said Toronto, Ontario, and it's like, let's say it said professor from New Jersey, I would think it was Witty. But yeah, carry on.
So as I say in the first paragraph here, that maintaining students' attention is one of the main things that people are find an issue with for virtual teaching, and that doesn't seem to be an issue for gamers and people who stream regularly, because they can engage with the audience, like sometimes very, very often, frequently, constantly reading that message and replying, and constantly talking to the chat and to each other for it says there sometimes upwards of 12 hours.
Yeah.
And I find, particularly when I'm streaming, I can, if I don't have anything to, if I don't have any reason to stop, I could just keep going and going and going.
Yes.
Especially if there are people in the chat that I'm sort of communicating with.
Yeah, like
Yeah, exactly.
and a big person I sort of resonate with regards to that sort of go back to what you were saying about people being in your chat. Essentially, you're just vibing with them, like chatting, playing the game, and whatever music. Like a big person that I sort of take my personal inspiration from on that front is Amaze. So if anybody hasn't seen Amaze, like on Twitter, there's a load of motivational tweets, like videos, basically saying like, everybody, you got this. Every morning, pretty much, for his time zone, which is about midday, 1 o'clock our time that it goes live. Fucking amazing. Earlier today, I actually seen a tweet from him where it was him doing a song, like rapping, and that's what he does. He does freestyles on his stream for like subs, for gifted subs, for bits, pretty much like over a certain amount, and obviously, so he's not doing it all the time. He has certain limits, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's very entertaining with it. Streams a lot of Destiny. The past season, so not this season that we're about to discuss with regards to Destiny in a minute. But the past season, so season of the Hunt, he did take a bit of a break and went and played a couple other games like Ark. Just before the new season started, he was playing Apex. And literally just like vibing out. He was actually in the Twitch like clip thing, basically saying excellence happening every day and history being made every day, for Black History Month.
Oh.
Like he was actually in that clip along with somebody else, who who's connected to someone I watch as well. So pretty awesome. See like him get some of the recognition I like a lot of people feel like he deserves.
Yeah.
On that same front though, Twitch, as part of Black History Month, put him on the front page for a bit the other day, and he was playing Apex. I was watching him. There was a guy who came in and was like, "Oh, you view botting, son?" And he was like, "You what?" And the guy responded in chat again, "You view botting, yeah?" And he just turned around and like gave him a punk slap with words, as it were, sort of told him to get off. There's a bunch of people turn around and says, "Oh, clearly don't know who you are." And then I just turn around and says, like, clearly don't know what the check mark is, does he? And Amaze just agreed with me and went, clearly not. And he turned around and says, "Listen, man, if I was view botting, Twitch would have me shut down faster than I can say partner, because I am a partner. They are keeping an eye on pretty much every partner. I'm on the front page. They're gonna see it. The reason my viewership's so high is the front page. Like, yes, the chat's not going a mile a minute because I'm on the front page. There are people that are just sat on the front page, vibing out, seeing if they enjoy the content that they're getting, and then they're gonna come in and like follow and chat away and do whatever. Right now, they're just chitting there vibing, and they can. And the one thing that I fucking respected was he didn't just like slap the guy around, calling him a racist and all this, that, and the other, and calling him because essentially that's what the guy was saying. You could tell by the way he was typing a view button, was he's basically saying you are not deserving of the views that you are getting right now. So you must be view button.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we have a question from CJ's chat. Just before we move on to the next section of this that I want to bring up before the topic. So, do you have a favorite pasta, Intrepidus, and what is it?
Favorite pasta?
Yeah, what's your favorite pasta? Type of pasta or pasta dish? I'm not sure what the question is specifically referring to, but if you can give us an answer, what's your favorite pasta?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Spag bol is a good one.
Technically, it's got pasta in it.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. CJ, yours?
Oh God, I don't know.
No. All right, I'll answer and give you a little bit of time. Then I quite like the what are they called? The little shells.
I forget them.
Don't ask me.
No,
My mum's a qualified chef, and I don't know the names of fucking pasta. Right? Don't ask me.
I just eat whatever pasta. To be honest, I don't really have a favorite.
Eat what's put in front of me. I'm a shovel.
Like literally, like when I have like pasta in the house, I just chuck like I've got like all different shapes. I just chuck them all in. It doesn't bother me.
And I'm not even kidding when I say I eat what was put in front of me either. Like my mother-in-law will always give me, because anybody who doesn't know, me and my missus live right with her mum at the minute. We're trying to find our own place. She will always make me the biggest plate of food, despite the fact like her son is a big dude, a lot bigger than me. Because she knows like they're likely to leave it. I won't. I will literally inhale it and it's gone.
Yeah, I'm the same. Anything you don't have to cook is nice.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So the other part that I was going to point out with this article, if you scroll a lot further down, where has it gone? So sometimes the students, they try and make them laugh, but it affords them during the lecture to be like, wait, what did you mean by that? So the way I read into that is obviously with Teams and Zoom and whatever, a lot of the time you either have to wait for them to stop so that you can then ask the question, and obviously then everyone hears your voice and your name will light up and everything. Whereas on Twitch you tend to have usernames, so really the students don't necessarily know which other student is asking the question in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't feel like they're gonna get cussed out if they're asking a stupid question, because me, Intrepidus, wouldn't know you and Rage Kitsune from like who your real name is. You know what I mean? I honestly get that.
Usernames in advance and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously in an ideal situation when all this is set up and everything, you have sort of lockdown, so like it's not broadcast to everybody, so anyone can just come in and spam shit. Which would then mean that the teacher knows who's asking the question, so that like if they've got any like I don't know homework or assignments or whatever, they can sort of not tailor them to try and avoid that, but like kind of look and see what the response is like and make sure that like if they've gone over the answer, they've answered the question, that like they've actually understood it, and if they haven't, then they can go back over it with them again.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, is there a way to like private streams, like only certain people can see them? Like, I don't think there is there? Because the only thing I'm thinking of, because like I know you can do it on YouTube, you can private streams for like certain subs, stuff like that.
I think you can do a sub-only stream, but then that would mean obviously having accounts for all the students that are subs to that account, and then obviously getting it to affiliates.
To be honest, you could probably easily get an account like that to affiliate. And then start like you just get all the staff members, a couple of the students, the whole class for that feature. Follow it, get it up to 50, then you get the average, and then the school themselves could just gift subs to the students, and then you just put the chat in sub only mode, And then even if somebody else does come in and chat, like sub, they're then having to pay the school, you know, to chat in that chat. Like,
Yeah.
really, the school wins, and it might be, to be honest, it might be the future for schools to actually raise more capital to do certain like events or whatever with students with regards to technology and shit.
2069.
I just read that.
God damn it. That was a very focused question.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
I feel like I'm missing something. I need to open your chat.
It's CJ's chat.
One of my mods said, like, I can't wait for lecturers on Twitch just answering stream chat like, you student for 2069 knows a very poggers question. Just like start using. Oh.
Alright, well, we did say from the start all the way through that this is going to be sort of a little bit about Twitch, and a little bit about ourselves, but also a little bit about Destiny. This is a Destiny podcast. So, what's our first topic you got lined up for that?
Well, the first one is obviously recently we had MNK recoil changes on PC. So we've got DMG asking for feedback on said changes. They got nerfed like what, 40% kit, if you remember. Do you remember correctly?
40% change.
Yeah.
It was like 30-40%, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically we had 0 recoil on MNK, and consoles had about 50%. So we had a bit of a nerf to bring us more in line with controllers. And so far, the feedback seems to be, looking at like the couple of answers that we can see, I haven't really noticed. Have you played much since the new season started, CJ? I know you was playing yesterday, I think. Saw you?
Yeah. It doesn't even feel like anything's changed. To be honest, the only thing I can really notice is that my gun looks a bit smoother when I'm shooting. And that's about it.
And I think that might be so. I think the reason we've not really noticed as much is because they've changed. So we've got more recoil, but it doesn't affect the actual camera as much. The gun just sort of moves around the camera when it needs to, which might make it easier for us to move the camera and get back to an aiming position. And it might be to do with like a lot of the weapons that people are using. Throws a cheeky dab in there every once in a while. Feel free. So I've lost my train of thought now. Oh right, yeah. So like, if let's say you're shooting hand cannons or whatever, if you've got a specific fire rate that you go at, chances are that most of the recoil is mitigated by the time you go and fire your next shot anyway.
Yeah.
It'll kick more, or it'll move to the side more, but it'll come back, or you'll be able to get it back in place before you fire the next shot anyway.
Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
but assault auto rifles weren't affected by the camera changes.
They might have been.
I'm pretty sure they weren't.
Or they weren't supposed to have been, and they were. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they weren't.
Like
but
a lot of the weapons don't really feel like they've changed.
Let me double check. It was in last. It
I-
was on in last
so
week's
I-
12, right? I'm getting it. But yeah, I feel like they haven't done what they seem to have done nothing basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the strike easy, the Brakazan one, is that what it's called? Do you know, like, after all the dogs run out of the door?
Yeah.
So someone mentioned it to me when I was like going up that tunnel. So I was just like, it's quite a long tunnel, do you know, like when you turn right for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was just aiming down the tunnel at one spot, and I wasn't even moving my mouse, and there was literally no recoil on my gun. I was just like, they've increased recoil. Like, I didn't even move my mouse at all, and it was just no recoil, and it was like the full length of the corridor. So, if they've done it,
so
no.
the recoil changes, mouse and keyboard recoil adjusted closer to controller, reduce the difference from 40% to 20%. So we got a 20% nerf. was auto rifle, scouts, pulse, submachine gun, hand cannon, machine gun, right? In the case of pulses, subs, and machine guns, we're also introducing some buffs in cases these weapons have less recoil across both controller and mouse and keyboard input methods compared to what's in the game today. And that's basically the camera movement changes were to subs, pulsers, and machine guns. So yeah, auto rifles weren't changed. My 720 Arctic Haze is still a fucking laser. So I really do not feel like the 20% difference is that much of a difference.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I noticed. Like, obviously, I was using like escape velocity. I was just aiming. My bullets were literally all going like one spot or like around that one spot, like part like a size of like a cabal head. But like I only noticed that the
Okay.
oh,
You're shot, CJ.
the only
just
it just
yeah.
it just looked like the guns were the submachine guns were easier to like see what you were doing with more than.
I think that was the whole point with the camera changes as well. So yeah, we've got Katie here saying she hasn't noticed a difference, so all good. One thing I am worried about with regards to this is all these replies saying, "Oh, I haven't really noticed," might cause them to go even more drastic. And an Arctic Haze, as someone who's not only just recently came over from like full Switch anyway, from console, Arctic Haze is practically unusable on Xbox. Like it just bounces all over the place. It's stupid. So I hope they don't go even more down the let's make it more like controller route, because if the Arctic Haze becomes unusable, like one, we haven't got a solar auto rifle. 600s were only just usable on console, like, but they were lasers whenever they were usable. So maybe with the nerfs, they would be even more bouncy. I don't know, but
who really knows?
That's the main thing I'm like worried about, is that they are gonna just go, "Oh, you didn't notice a difference? Okay, let's crank the recoil even more."
They don't touch it again, but it's how much they tweak it by.
Yeah.
But they might turn around and say, "Oh, well, you didn't notice 20%, so let's do another 20%, and then we are bang on console."
Yeah.
And that's my worry, is that then the Arctic Haze become, and any other like high rate of fire archetype for any weapon will become unusable.
But here's the thing: is it that these are just like preparatory steps, sort of like how you don't tend to notice when you're growing as you grow, but then you look back and go, "Oh, I'm taller than last year."
True.
I don't understand why like they're trying to make it so similar to controller when controller gets aim assist as well.
I mean,
like why make the recoil the same as what controller is if controller has?
I mean, to a certain degree, all of Destiny gets aim assist because we got bullet magnetism, and that is just a symptom of it being a console game first. Like they added that in, they worked that into the whole sandbox because it was a console game.
What they had to mitigate the frame rate that they were working with and the potential for significantly higher pings to account for.
So to a certain degree, they they had, like you said, they had to. But yeah, the reason I mentioned Kate is because we've next we've got some like thoughts on the new season and the whole loot system. So before we actually like dive into what Katie had to say with regards to this tweet, have you played much of the new season, CJ, and what do you think?
So from the amount I've played, I feel like they've just taken everything from like the last 2 seasons and just merged it all together. And like I haven't like, it just feels grindy again. Like I don't know what to say other than like it's just repeating the same 3 activities over and over. unless I've missed something. Because I played it for about 9 to 10 hours, but I just felt like I would do strikes 3 times. Then I'd do 3 of the missions, and then back into strikes 3 times, and then back into those 3 missions. That's what it felt like to me.
And they do keep linking things back to the core activities.
I like that they do, and one thing you may have actually like missed sort of is when you come into like looking at the weekly challenges, that's how you level up the war table, which give you the buffs your hammer. I kind of like it because it forces you to do the weekly challenges. You don't have to do all of them, you just have to do a select couple at the top. But at the same time, I don't like it because I can't like take bounties from the war table and go, okay, I'm gonna get a small reputation boost for each of these bounties. I can't just go and do battlegrounds and get a small reputation boost. Like I'm sort of locked behind doing those weekly challenges. So when it comes to like right now, I've done all my weekly challenges. I've done all the 3 ones that you get rep for. I think it's 3.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 things unlocked for my hammer. So I'm now holding 5 charges, and I get bonus loot from a chest at the end of Battlegrounds. So, like, overall, I like the season. I like the direction it's going, but at the same time, tying it to the weekly activities and turning around and going, okay, you have to do these to level up this thing. And it's not a case of me who started playing, like, hour 1, Kit who started playing hour 1 of the new season. We can't just go and grind out everything on that table. Seems a lot like Varix in the sense of half of the things you wanted to unlock with regards to the Europa challenge things at Varix, you couldn't unlock until the raid was over. And now
I don't understand why they did some of those, like trying upgrading some of the stuff to pinnacles. I was like pretty much nearly at max by the time I got it, so it was like useless to me in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was useful to other people, so I can forgive them for that. Like, it's only those of us that were trying to like do raid races that were actually like at over the top power level, essentially.
Yeah, there's nothing really. There's nothing for a while, is it? Until Vogue, but then there's not going to be a raid race for that either. So
Yeah.
No,
But one thing I will say is, as going back to what Katie's now got, because obviously quote tweeted something from Glad, is there is a lot of like loot to chase with regards to this season. So you can go into Nightfall ordeals each week. They've actually revealed that the weapons are on a weekly rotation. So you've got Shadow Price this week. Next week will be either the Palindrome or Swarm, and then the week after will be the other one of whichever one isn't next week. So let's say it's Palindrome next week, it'll be the Swarm the final week, and then it will switch back to Shadow Price, and they'll just keep doing that until like the end of the season, where they might, add even more in next season.
yeah,
To say here we're going to put it on now as a 6-week rotation instead of a 3. I like that because now it basically means here go and do the ordeal. You have a chance of getting it at the lowest level, and you basically have an increased chance at the highest level that isn't GM. 13 or 1280.
Master.
And then Grandmaster's like what?
Yeah,
1350 or something.
14.
Or is it 1400?
It would be if it's going off similar to, I don't know the exact numbers. If it's going off similar to last season, it'll be 1380 for Master and then 1400 for GM.
I don't think it's that high. I'm fairly sure it's
fairly.
1330 and 1350, or 1350 and 1380.
Wait, what's the pinnacle cap?
1310 is the pinnacle cap.
Oh, 1310's the pinnacle cap, so it'll be Mass would be 1350. No, it would be 1330 for GM.
Master. Yeah.
But yeah,
20.
so I agree with what Glad's sentiment is in this quote tweet that he's quoted. There needs to be loot in a looter like to chase.
Yeah.
And as Katie said, she spent 2 days grinding the same Nightfall of Sepix, enjoyed every second of it because she's chasing that god roll Shadow Price. And this is
So
what the hardcore player base needed. Like there was so many complaints last season and in Beyond Light of, oh, everything's too easy to get.
Yeah, that's probably something I'm gonna grind. Like, have they added the strikes now to the world map and to the
No, that's a bug.
rotations?
They're still missing from the map for
Yeah,
now.
they've said that
Are
it's a
they
bug
are
and they're
they
working
are they
on it.
in normal rotation as well in the Vanguard strikes? Because I've
not seen
No,
them in the
people are saying that they haven't seen them, and I think Bungie acknowledged and said that's a bug as well.
Yeah,
are
we were
supposed to
speaking
be.
about that. Kit, remember? Like,
Yeah.
I've done so many of them and didn't. I was like, I want to do the day one like beta strike that I did years ago. But if it's in the Nightfall, then okay, I'm gonna do it that way.
Yeah, you need to do the Nightfall epic.
No, I don't. Oh, bro, it's
And
been
then
so long since I've seen that strike.
Yeah, and then next
The
week,
soundtrack still slaps.
yeah, the soundtrack is just fucking awesome. They did use like the Rise of Iron, Misha.
Did
Yeah, they used that soundtrack, but it is Sepix Prime that you're fighting.
Is it Cyclus Prime? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the thing as well. I was doing it earlier, like trying to like grind out some of the grenade kills for the new like Pinnacle grenade launcher or whatever they're called, pursuit weapons now. And I did get one piece of dialogue I remember hearing just before going into the boss room from Ghost. From Ghost even, which it was like, oh, so this is the Devil's Lair. And it's like, okay, yes, this is the Devil's Lair, but you could go into more detail in effect of the devils don't exist anymore. We murdered them. Like we murdered their leaders, and therefore they are now part of House Salvation or House Dusk. Like,
did you link your Destiny? Did you ever play Destiny 1?
Yes.
Or link your?
There's accounts linked. I'm about 80% sure because he was on Xbox before turning on crossplay.
Yeah.
Because
so we will have linked them.
Oh right, because that should like I know there's a difference.
Yeah, I get the veteran dialogue. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit buggy with my Warlock because I didn't create my Warlock until just before Rise of Iron. Funny actually, like that video of me first playing Warlock is still to this day my highest viewed video on YouTube because it's describing the old podcast that I used to do that I did only one episode of with my old clan.
Yeah. It just sounded like the dialogue you said sounded like a new account's dialogue, and I was like,
that's what I thought. I was like, wait, you could like at least go into some more detail and say this was the Devil's Lair, not this is.
Yeah, someone along the lines of like
you
so
murdered their lead. You killed their leaders, and now they are either part of House Dusk or House Salvation. And then say something along the lines of, whoever we're fighting, which is actually House Dusk, by the way. Like if you're in there, when you're fighting the Fallen in the end boss room, it is House Dusk Fallen that you see. I feel like a lot of the other ones are House Devils, so it could be. I've seen Red Fallen in some of the rooms. So I feel like it could be like remnants, but they could say like most of the remnants are with House Salvation or House Dusk. Dusk must have a major reason to be trying to resurrect Sepix Prime or something along the line and incorporate it into the story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that it just simply says oh, so this is the Devil's Lair. It's kind of like, wait, what? No, it's not. Not anymore. It used to be.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
CJ's chat chipping in with another question.
I see
Any
that.
animal, what would you be?
I have no idea, to be honest. Probably.
This sort of thing is supposed to like reveal part of your personality or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, my like tag that like my gamer tag and that I go by. So obviously my name on Twitch is Intrepid.
Yeah.
So, which literally means fearless for anybody who doesn't know. So I'd like to think that I would be like a lion or a bull, you know, because I'd just charge in. I don't give a shit. But
My one's been answered for me. Apparently, I'm a stallion.
Apparently he's a stallion. Yeah.
now why is that?
Go on.
I wonder. Do they think that you're beautiful or something?
Oh, for God's sake.
Any insight from what was CJ?
Shag.
That's a fair enough reason, I guess.
Go on, Kit. What was yours? What would you be?
I don't know what I'd be in terms of like me myself. I mean, obviously I've got all my Fox branding and everything because of my name.
Kitsune.
Really. Yeah. I don't know. Definitely not a cat. Definitely not a cat. Ooh, yep, that's me. What emote was used there?
Oh,
The eyes. Okay.
Yeah, it is. TT.
Yeah, I'm looking through my looking through the eyes of my bot, so I just sort of like see plain text.
Okay.
I don't get to see the
Hey,
any of the
Odis,
images.
how's it going? Sorry to cut you off there. I'm checking if
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a fox.
the
Yeah.
TWAB's up yet.
makes sense.
Which it's not.
I don't believe it is.
Not.
It might
yet.
be, but we've got a couple more things first. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I was just seeing if it was up so I
On
could get
the
it ready.
topic of having more topics.
Swiping.
Ha 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 ha. My segues are terrible.
Yeah,
Swiping.
very
Wow. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, the Eyes of Tomorrow took a bit of a nerf when it wasn't really supposed to.
Yeah. Well, they've acknowledged that there was a nerf that did actually happen, which was one of its perks trigger on kill. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's what they basically fixed on eyes to go with the buff to rockets. Obviously, they took a pass at all of them.
As they said, they took a pass at all the rockets, but the exotic ones were being tuned separately, sort of more specifically, like reworking some of the perks or changing the efficacy of the efficiency of the way of just how powerful some of the perks are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, when they fixed one of the perks on this, maybe it sort of like overrode another change that they'd made in something else, and it didn't quite go the way it was planned.
But yeah, as it says here, they've acknowledged it's a bug, and they are, looking at fixing it because it's supposed to get like quite nerfed, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not really used the Eyes of Tomorrow since it's been out anyway, because it never really did.
I haven't got it, so I can't. Simply put.
But
I literally got it the day after day one because when I did my second run, I got it.
Yeah, I've done 30 now, so you are a lucky motherfucker. That's
I've
what
had
I'm
4 of
gonna
them.
say.
I've had 4 of them.
I mean, I am the guy that did Crown once, got Terrorburn, and then said it was never going to touch it again, and then did 5 more fucking clears to help other people.
I did the exact same. I didn't even do a full run of Crown. I literally just done the boss and got terrible and dipped.
Yeah, I think I did the boss twice and did 1 full run, and I was like, that's it. I'm not touching this raid again. I don't even care about the machine gun. I didn't get it. I didn't want to get it, to be honest. If I did get it, it was probably just going to be like, that's it. Ticked off in collections. Get the fuck out.
That was basically what it was for me, but I just put it in the vault.
Yeah.
I
The
dismantled it.
other exotics that have been buffed were the Aeon suite, and they got a buff in the form of changing how the perk works.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting.
But
Well, I found it pretty interesting. Most people would be bored by it.
yeah.
So I haven't.
Actually, one of them. I was watching Pigeon earlier. One of the perks for it is actually so overpowered in Gambit, which is the one that gives you heavy ammo for executing.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are these the gauntlets now?
Yeah, the Aeon Swift, Aeon Safe, and Aeon. What was the other one?
I forget. About opening dim, I couldn't tell
It
you.
wasn't Aeon Maul. It began with an S. Swift, Safe.
Let me open
I
dim.
I don't.
If I've even got any in my fucking vault.
No, I've never used them, if I'm being honest.
It doesn't appear that I do.
Soul, that's what it was. Aeon Swift, Safe, and Soul.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Swift is on Dawn, I think. I think that's the only one I know.
Yeah.
Being an old hunter main.
Safe is the Titan one, and Soul is the Warlock one. I know that because the Warlock one. Warlock main.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got an interesting buff where basically they got their own set of mods.
Yeah.
And one of the mods allows you to, when you're executing a elite, I think it is, you get special if you execute like a mini boss, and basically anything with a yellow health. You drop heavy for your allies.
Pretty sick.
So, yeah.
That's kind of like
very useful in Gambit.
That's just taking the mod. It doesn't. I'm assuming it doesn't consume super as well.
No,
so that's just like
it does not.
So that's just taking the mods and just making them better.
Yep.
Yeah.
And using up your exotic slot in the process. So I think we could.
It's worth.
Personally, I agree with I think what you was about to say, which is it is worth taking up the exotic slot and not using up super.
Yeah.
See, it's
a balance
really worth it, especially for me, in the regard that in Gambit, and in stuff in general, unless I'm using Celestial, I don't tend to have an exotic armor piece equipped.
Yeah.
But
yeah, true. I use.
I was gonna say moving on to the next topic.
Sure, let's move on.
Just because I love this.
What do we think? Okay, yeah.
It is basically if you don't know, the name of the actor that voices Zavala is Lance Reddick. He's in other things as well. He's in what was it? The TV shows not long been in. I forget what it was called, but he's been in a bunch of like your Brooklyn Nine-Nine type TV shows. There's the smaller ones that have a cult following, a lot of people that watch them, but not quite as like big as something like Game of Thrones. But yeah, he's the voice actor for Zavala. And there was this meme that was posted. You can see here it's basically screenshots from the entry cutscene to the season of the Chosen, where Kaito proposes an alliance even, and tells. Then at the end of a big long, speech, she tells Zavala to bow. Well, the community wasn't happy with Zavala just going no. And so one person made a meme and wrote a bunch of extra dialogue.
Who are Destiny fans,
and he actually reads it. I'm gonna mute real quick and let stream listen to that.
Bow. So, Mechanize on Twitter at XMechanizeX posted this and then asked me to read the response below as Zavala. So, here goes. kicking your race's collective asses for 9 years. They killed gods for fun and turned them into guns for a meme. They genocide entire races for loot. They assassinated your last leader, cleaned out your daddy's ship while he wrote fan fiction about them and promptly fucked off to let you pick up the pieces. The only reason I didn't bring them here is because they casually began wielding the darkness to clap ass in new ways. All I have to do to make them end you is to tell them you have a fancy new gun, or that Eris can make you into one. So, think about that before you tell us to bow to your sorry ass. Mechanize. Eyes up, Guardian.
Oh, they should have done that. They should have done that.
Yeah. The thing is, but that was such when that came out, that was like such short notice that like even if they wanted to, they couldn't. But I think it's brilliant that like he's been keeping an eye on what's been going on around the game and everything.
He always does. He always does.
He always does.
Like, personally, I think he is the best voice actor in the game. Like,
Yeah.
he's not only you know, just voicing the character and going, okay, here's my voice talents, like I'm out, sort of thing. He plays the game. Like, he actively plays Destiny. I think he plays on if I remember right, one of his videos that he put out, similar to this, he was sort of talking about like Zavala and, you know, how he feels the character should be and all this, that, and the other. And then basically said, here's, like, I'm not just coming at it from my own personal voice actor being more like the character, sort of the character being more like the voice actor rather, sort of angle. I'm actually coming at it from a I play the game, so he's there like with the game loaded up, title screen, like I actively play the game. So, you know, he basically stays in touch with the community, and I personally think it's very like big and humble of him, because not only is he taking part like in the community aspect of the game, which, let's face it, Destiny has probably one of the best communities in gaming in general. Like, we're all passionate about the game, even if you like take a break for 6 months to a year, like you come back and you're like, let's go. Like, I love this fucking game. Like,
that's me. Yeah.
Like, we all love the game, and he sort of embodies that, I feel. And then you think about it, he's got other things he's doing, like the TV shows and stuff that I mentioned. So for him to take time out of his day, 2-minute video to read like a voice line essentially that was come up with by a member of the community, just so we can see what it would actually, because we all envisioned Zavala's voice reading it whenever we read it, but no one actually, you know, could say they knew what Zavala would have sounded like reading that. And it not only does it give us the, oh, okay, this is what Zavala would have sounded like saying it, but it also gives us the insight into his like work as the voice actor. Like, you'll notice when you watch that video, he's doing like all different like facial expressions with his mouth to, you know, get the different sounds from his like his normal voice. And so that's a technique that a lot of voice actors use, but you never really see it, because they're typically flown out to a studio to do voiceover work for either an animation, you know, some sort of cartoon, or a game, and then flown back out to wherever to, you know, do voice acting or whatever. Their actual acting for whatever parts they're in actual TV shows or whatever. And a lot of voice actors nowadays, you won't actually see them be big major names like what's the guy who plays Nathan Drake? Who we used to have as was it Ghost? Used to be Ghost, or he is Ghost?
Dingle.
Oh, we had Peter Dinklage, who was Ghost, and now we have Nolan North is I think his name, who plays Drake, Nathan Drake, in the Uncharted series. Like, other than Nathan Drake, I don't know what Nolan North has done. People know Peter Dinklage because he was one of the Lannisters in Game of Thrones. Now that's a big major part, so that's a big major actor to have voice. Lance Reddick is in a bunch of like those sort of shows, as I said, in the US, so he's probably one of the biggest on the voice acting roster for Destiny. But the fact is, he has given us an insight. You know what I mean? Personally, I love it. I don't know how you two feel about that.
He's done quite a lot. I'm looking at some of this stuff now. Like,
have you got his IMDb up or whatever?
Yeah, so he's done Raphael from Teenage TMNT. He's voiced him. He's done, like, in the Avengers animation, he's done when Ant-Man goes huge. Like, that croaky voice that he has goes big. He's done Superman in Lego comics. He's done he's done Deadpool as well, apparently, in the same Avengers. Ben 10, Black Panther. He's done a lot, but does anyone know him for this?
This is
No.
what I'm saying. Like, he's a couple of shows, like Blue Bloods or something like that. I keep forgetting what it's called.
Yeah, there's loads in here.
Yeah, he's done so much. But here's Nathan Drake. There we go.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know he did half of these.
So what he's actually known for is actor and producer known for John Wick Chapter 2, and White House Down. Like, that's what he's. Oh, he was in The Wire. Gosh. And John Wick Chapter 3, he played the same character he was in Chapter 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Bungie.
Gives
the juice. There it is. Sorry.
Right, what 12? We got it.
Yeah.
Refresh this. Still talking about. There it is.
But going back to like Zavala and stuff, the best like games and stuff I feel on like community feedback are from when like developers and the voice actors play it, and get like they can see it from our perspective rather than just like, oh, we coded it to do this. This is what we want.
Yeah.
Because like Rocket League gets a lot of that. Like because a lot of the developers and like casters and stuff like play it themselves anyway. So then obviously because they're doing it, they give their feedback, and it helps a lot.
Nice, I'm just gonna update this link here.
He was in one I was thinking. American Horror Story. That was one of the big roles that he's had. He was in that. He was in a couple of episodes. Played a character called Papa Legba between 2014 and 2018. I don't know if anybody watches American Horror Story. My sister, you probably know who he is. But yeah, he's been in a bunch of Paradise PD. I think is the one I was thinking of when I said Blue Blood. The TV shows.
Yeah, I didn't realize he's done.
But yeah, so I honestly, yeah, like we're saying anyway, I think it's honestly a good thing that not only is he playing the game and doing the voice for Zavala, but he's also, you know, actively engaging with the community, even at the people, you know, the guy who sort of messaged him the meme and said, "Oh, can you read this in voices?"
Yeah.
The voice of Zavala.
Yeah.
Noise Tank is someone I like follow and watch quite regularly. Basically puts it in perfect words. Lance is the fucking king, like the absolute king of the voice actors with regards to Destiny, because I have not seen any sort of like, you know, Eris meme or any other like voice, any other characters being memed like this. You know, was giving them our own personal thoughts on voice lines, and the voice actor just comes forward and goes, "You know what? I'll read that because you asked."
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on swiftly to the 12 since it's now out. We got the season. Yeah, we've got the seasonal map. Nothing has changed on it from when we last looked at it on the website. But yeah, we'll get the new Proving Grounds strike for people who own the season pass on the 23rd. Free to play players will get it on the 30th even. Stasis aspects quests again. We obviously all have already had those. Like you can do them already. One thing I will say is I like how it's account wide now. So I do the quest once and then just go and pick up the aspect from the stranger on my other two characters.
Oh, really? Okay. Sick.
That is good.
I've got no aspects on my Warlock and Titan.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the new ones
I think
are.
I've got one on my Warlock.
I don't know whether the old ones are. I feel like they are still you need to go and do the missions, quests and stuff.
Yeah.
But the new aspects, if you've done it on one character, you can just go and pick them up.
Talking about stasis really quick, have you seen how busted the artifact is?
Yes.
Why? That's my only question. Why? Why did they do this? Like, warlocks are gonna just be going around killing people and lasting twice as long.
Well, the thing is, warlocks are the least of your worries. Titan Behemoth is legit the longest lasting of those supers.
It's so stupid in my opinion.
And
getting super back for getting killed is
well, here's the problem, right, with Behemoth. And I've had this discussion with other people already. It is that when you punch, so you know, on mouse by default, I believe it's just straight your normal shoot, your left click. You can literally clear half the map just tap jump click, tap jump click, tap jump click until you get someone, because it uses up no super energy. What uses up super energy is your slam, where you send out the freezing crystal. And what needs to happen, considering a movement ability which is on the top tree Dawn for warlocks, uses up super energy, which is Icarus Dash. If I pop top tree Dawn and Icarus Dash, just nothing but Icarus Dash, my super will run out faster than if I just stood there and let it, run out.
Yeah,
because it uses up.
I didn't realize you can Icarus Dash with right click until like yesterday in the super because I've always been using my actual keybind for like to dash. I didn't realize you could just right click.
Yeah.
I felt so stupid this entire time.
I think that was a change they made with Beyond Light, though. I feel like I've read something somewhere that it was
I
like a
didn't play
quality of life
Warlock
thing.
until after Beyond Light.
Yeah, I feel like that's a change that they made with Beyond Light as a quality of life thing, because there was nothing bound to that second button on your mouse. You know, your aim, typically your aim button.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong as well. Do you know like how you said the Titan punch doesn't consume energy?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same for the Warlock right click, like this pulse that goes out? Because I feel like it is.
No, it does. The only shatter that the Warlock has does consume a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, because I feel like most of the
It
energy.
did change it. It used to consume nothing for the pulse thing, and you had to use the energy was all from sending out the actual things, but they changed it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay. I was gonna say,
because you
'cause I
could just
remember
keep
when I used
spamming.
to.
You could keep just spamming the shatter and have infinite super. So I think that's when they changed it. But
It didn't do that
yeah,
much damage.
I was
though,
with regards to the aspects. I like the Warlock's aspect because it's like a little turret. It's great for PvE.
Oh wait, what are the aspects? I don't know.
For the new one for the Warlock is a little turret. The Titan basically gets middle tree arc, Hunter, slide, and do an upwards like slam.
Uppercut thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it brings out stasis crystals and freezes anything in front of it.
Wait, is that the thing that was in the trailer for Beyond Light that everyone thought was going to be
probably
like the big wall that goes up when he slides?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I was wondering what that was.
And then the Hunter one is literally the Titan tectonic harvest, but you have to get a kill with something affected by stasis. So, whereas a Titan, you just throw down, like let's say you've just used your melee, you want to get your melee back, you just throw down a wall, slide through it, and it will leave behind little crystals, tectonic harvest crystals. Pick those up, and it will give you a boost to your melee, and boom, you've got your melee back after so many crystals.
Okay.
Hunters is exactly the same, but you have to kill something, not shatter a crystal. It's like a watered down version. It's honestly stupid. They should not have done it. They should have just given them something else.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I feel like with regards to stasis, as much as people complained that warlocks were OP in the beginning, they've got the raw end of the deal. The only shatter we've got, as I mentioned earlier, is our super, whilst Hunters have Shatter Dive and Titans have the Slide, which are both aspects. So,
Yeah.
But let's face it, you know how OP that combo of throwing down an ice wall is and shattering it? You're not going to use any other aspect than those two on either of those classes. So, Warlocks really needed a shatter aspect, in my opinion. But
yeah, I've seen wipe a full team with just one grenade slam. Stupid.
But yeah, we're gonna go into the squad real quick. So obviously they're with part of the fact that they support Black Lives Matter initiatives. They're forming internal clubs and committees to further support Bungie employees, and being like, you know, so part of this is they're going to be covering black members of their team in TWABs. So they're obviously talking about here some of the charity work that they've done, the fact that they are, with Black History Month underway, Black at Bungie has been educating employees at Bungie about historical figures, current industry leaders, where to support local black-owned companies in the greater Seattle area, which is where Bungie is based, if anybody did. And then basically just taking the lessons and turning them into action. so that they can better be, you know, a more accepting company and a more, what's the word? Not politically correct, because they are obviously politically correct and kind of need to be. Yeah, essentially just like try and do away, as they say here, with systematic racism, because that plagues the United States, and it doesn't just plague the United States; it plagues the whole world. Going through here, we'll go through the patch notes. Patch notes stragglers. There's a few things here. So quest details and yeah, I like how they've done this as well. Again, I think this is what they mean by patch note stragglers. It wasn't in the patch notes.
So it's things that like we had in the patch notes for the last update and when the season dropped, is that stuff they didn't mention but have happened. And I was quite surprised to see this pop up, to be honest. When I looked at this, it's a nice touch.
Oh, yeah, I really like the fact that you can actually like more in what your quest info is, who you're actually getting the quest from, you know, all this.
What I find really good is that you can look at the other quest steps, so you can like prepare all the stuff you need.
Wait,
Like,
can
let's
you
say-
see the steps?
Yeah. So like you see on
Some of them do say.
Yeah,
Some of,
when you
step
step
one,
yeah, some
and
of
you can
them
see
do
the
say
step
though.
one, and you can them.
Some of them do say like objectives not available yet or something, and don't actually allow you to look at the quest steps. Because I had that with Iku's divination or whatever the new bow's called, with regards to the quest for its catalyst. You try and look at the second step whilst you're still on the first step, it will just say, yeah, you can't look at this step.
I think you can look at. I think you can look at future steps if it's a quest you've done before on your account.
Ah, okay.
So if you're doing this quest on another, if you're doing this quest on another character,
But something like that, yeah, something like that quest that I just mentioned is account wide anyway.
Account wide anyway.
Just have to pick it up on alternate areas.
Yeah.
I've actually seen something that's in the patch notes on Twitter on my other computer. So I'm looking forward to when we get to that part.
Okay.
All
right.
Quite funny.
Oh yes, I've just seen the reputations.
Yep.
They don't take up the full entire screen anymore whenever you rank up.
That is brilliant.
We actually mentioned this earlier today. Was it earlier today or was it yesterday? No, it was yesterday, wasn't it, Kit? It was playing
yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'd first noticed some of the changes when the clan XP thing came up in a different font.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was just like, oh yeah, here's some currency. Like it used to be with like, you know, when you get the glimmer, it's just that little font is like plus 1,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like a proper.
Bro, like, you know, when like grinding for day one raid, and obviously I was doing competitive. I was doing glory, so I was ranking up twice as much. So like after some, I'd be literally sitting there for like a minute waiting for it all to like disappear.
Yeah. The thing that we I'm actually on about with regards to can't wait till we get there. We're already there. Removed Hawthorne's Red War era dialogue when completing her clan challenge. So she will no longer turn around to you and say, you just don't quit, do you? Took out Garl, work with Traveller. She will no longer say that apparently. So it can no longer be memed, except our guest next week. Although he's not been he said yes, and we've organised for it to be next week. I'm gonna double check with him later this week. Sai has already memed DMG and actually tweeted at DMG, you just don't quit, do you? With a quote tweet of the Bungie this week at Bungie and the screenshot of this part right here. So looking forward to next week even more because he's a funny guy. But yeah.
It sounds it. Right. Onward with the 12. You can turn in gunsmith materials at 100 and Vanguard tokens at 20.
I love it.
Whole ranks at a time. Fucking finally.
The 20 is not that much of a bother. It was the gunsmith one collected 25 of it.
It was stupid. Now it's manageable.
Yeah, I feel like I still think that the gunsmith material turning is a bit expensive for what it is.
Well, it's because you can get the materials from literally everything now.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's like
kind of
It feels like though, if you try to rank up, well, when you turn in gunsmith materials, you run it really quick compared to like you can turn in like a couple of hundred Vanguard tokens and get loads, and then you turn in like 10 of gunsmith, and you're like, okay, I need to keep some materials now.
well. Ideal example is earlier. I had 6,000. I spent them all trying to get a true prophecy because it's back now in the gunsmith's loophole.
Yeah,
Um,
especially when
I
you've
got
got to use them to upgrade.
I got
as well.
two. I got two, and they were pointless.
Yeah.
So there's like 60 rolls because I had 6,000. 60 ranks gone up.
Yeah, like you're not guaranteeing yourself a god roll, and also when you want to upgrade armor and guns, you have to use gunsmith material anyway as well.
Not
So
anymore.
like,
No.
not anymore, is it?
No, you only ever use glimmer, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, and legendary shards now.
Oh, see, I just didn't notice that.
It's been like that for a while as well. But yeah, as we've already talked about, the banners now for ranking up actually appear at the bottom of the screen. I think it's about right where my mouse is, so where the schism is on Bob.
All right, okay.
Not that much bigger, rather than the huge banner that we used to have that used to take up probably from
take up
reputation to
80%
survival, and it was stupid because you
get it
wouldn't
away with everything.
you wouldn't be able to do nothing stupid. But and then the values are now available on the main director for the ritual. So when you go into Crucible, you're looking at all the modes. Each one underneath has what the no, each one
But also
has
at
underneath
top
when
right,
you're hovering over it, but at the top right, it has your
you've
valor
got the
and
two, yeah.
and glory.
And the same when you're looking at Gambit.
Yeah.
That's in the top right as well.
Yeah.
So you can see, like, at a quick glance, your values and stuff.
Iron
which-
Banner removed
Some
skill-based matchmaking listing from the Iron Banner tooltip. It has been using connection-based matchmaking along with the rest of Crucible since June 2020. There is still, I don't care how many times Bungie says it, and they can say it until they're blue in the face, there is still a degree of skill-based matchmaking in Crucible.
Yeah, definitely.
And here's why. Me and Kit go into Crucible. Both of us are about a 0.8 fucking KD. Like KDA even maybe. Like overall, basically we're below.
It's 1.1.
Oh, right. So it is KD then. All right. So
Yeah.
KD wise, we're both 0.8, 0.9. Assist and like assists included, we're both above like 1 point something. And we can have good games. We can slap. Like one game I played the other night. I think it was with you, Kit. It might have been just me and Hans.
Might have been, yeah.
I just went off. In fact, I was playing with Sai at one point last week. Last couple of nights of Iron Banner, and I played some of the best PvP I've ever played. To the point where a couple of the guys from Sai's clan, so Sai and his friend and someone from Adrift, his clan, Pixel, turned around and went, "Holy shit, Intrepiders! Like, calm down. Like, you just went off." And then I play with like my friend Rafe, who has above a 1.0 KD, and I just get shit on the entire time. Like, it's not like my games where I go into a game, I get shit on. I go into a game, I get slightly better, but I'm still getting shit on. And then the next game, I'm actually fucking destroying people. It's almost as if the people don't have any fingers and thumbs. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
I've
like
got a screenshot of a recent game I want to show you regarding skill-based matchmaking.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna check it in gen.
Look at it in general.
This was recent. Like, how do I get games like this? And then, like, and that's in a lobby where I've got, what's my KDA? I think it's like above 2. I'll have to.
Your efficiency in this one be
Yeah, like look at look at me, and then look at the second person on my team.
yeah.
It's like how like
Same with me.
like I get that quite often.
couple of games I've had where I was like dropping 4.7s and stuff like that. Like I said, people just saying to me, "Holy shit, dude! Like, I've seen you play the past couple of matches, and you're not this. Like, don't take it the wrong way, but you're not this good." And I'm like, I know I'm not this good. I don't know what's happening. I'm just feeling it. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I get that quite a lot of the times. I mean, I sort of like to joke about my PvP performance. I know I'm bad at PvP. I expect to be. You know,
Yeah,
I'd like to, I'd like to think I'm kind of improving a little bit here and there. You know, sort of like learning where I can't go on the maps and stuff.
yeah.
You know, where I'm obviously going to get my head taken off if I pick that lane or whatever. You know, I'm making subtle changes to my play style and stuff to suit the map and that. I'm still not great, but you know.
Yeah, they've added the So I took a 6-month break when like Valorant has come out, so I never had it. So I've been like do with like a
yeah, I was
energy
quite
shock
lucky.
and nuggets, and
I was quite lucky. I came back just before it came out.
they've added that back now, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna see like a rise in my.
whilst we're on that subject, I might actually pull up the video of Expo, who's probably the most cracked PvPer that's in the clan I'm in favored. I sent Kit the video earlier. It's actually
Yeah.
basically his response was giving me Bellwinters was a mistake. So we'll go through the 12 and then we'll play that like sort of last thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to use it.
So the other crucial thing there was the decrease in life count for survival.
Yeah, going back
That
to
just
what
makes
it
it
was.
Just sort of making the game play a little faster.
Yeah, and making it go back to what it was before Beyond Live.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know how I feel about that as well, because so many times in survival, I haven't died once, and it's like no lives left. I'm like, what the fuck is my team doing?
Yeah, I think if anything, it forces you to go in with a stacked team and go into the normal playlist rather than freelance.
Yeah, it's just so annoying the amount of times I don't die, and it's like you've got no lives left. You die once, and you're spectating, and just like, well, this is not fair.
But it felt even worse when that happened when you had 6, because you'd look at your team and you'd be like, "How have you died 4 times?"
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
just getting slapped. Usually, okay, maybe not. People
keep semi losing you, Kit.
So, sort of people.
Yep, we lost Kit. He's gone robotic. Yeah. We're hearing the beginning of his words. Oh, there you go. You're back.
All right, we'll see if that helps.
Yeah, that's helped.
Yeah, people who've like peaked somewhere and then had their head taken off and be like, "Okay, I'm gonna get them this time," and peak the same point.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's the worst, bro. They just keep going back from one time. I've had that before.
I mean, I've done it. I've done it in trials. It was one of the Sherpas in LOF. You know him, Days. I used to run trials with him every now and then on Xbox. And the week that it was Bannerfall, he would always be telling me, "Come outside, come outside." So what people typically call Mohawk, where the heavy ammo spawns. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm there like, no, I'm gonna beat this guy, you know, through the middle, like snipe, the opening snipe that pretty much everybody does. And every single time when I get my shit pushed, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna fucking beat him. At least in the event that I don't beat him, you know where my ghost is, so you know you can just get rid of him that sniped me, and boom, you're good. You can come pick me up. He's like,
Literally
no,
at
but
the start of every round, just jump
yeah.
on the platform and just go straight for the middle.
It's like, I'm going to go and die so that I've got a little border around him and can tell you where he is.
Pretty much. But then there was a couple of times where that was prior to when I was using Top Tree Dawn. And I would start using Top Tree Dawn, and I had Claws of
Vigorous
Claws of Ahamkara on, so I would give myself 2 melee, yeah, and everybody calls the melee from Top Tree Dawn wrist rockets, and yeah, I would have Icarus Dash. So what I would do is, as people were pre-aiming that like long lane, as it were, expecting me to be on the ground, I would have already eaten my grenade, give myself heat risers, jumped at, because anybody who doesn't know this, if you play a warlock, you eat your grenade and then jump, it actually makes you jump higher.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
and then obviously,
Yeah,
and then obviously you would
carry on.
you would float like the effect of heat risers tells you. You will actually like float for longer. But yeah, I would float high up, and then I would just wrist rocket them, and then hit them with a snipe and I'd beat them. So, it was just all about learning a tactic that would work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you got anything to say on that, CJ? Just before I.
No.
Okay. Intrepidus, can you?
Oh.
Can we what? Because we lost you again.
Say right. See.
No. Still can't
Lost
hear
me again.
Type it in the chat if you can, Kit.
There's nothing coming through now. Fine.
Yeah, nothing.
Gone.
Speed.
Is it working?
Yep, now it's working. Now it's working.
Right after I've typed.
Yeah. So yeah, long story short, we've got a couple of fixes for New Light Quest, Schism, Cold Boot, bunch of New Light quests. Doesn't really affect any of us unless we want to go ahead and do the New Light Quest from the kiosk in the tower. Risk Runner, last week I believe it was taken out of Zer's loot pool. This week they've fixed an issue where if you had full energy slot and you completed the Risk Runner quest, it wouldn't be sent to Postmaster. Now it will. The weapon now drops as an exotic engram during the mission, allowing players to clear room in their inventories if they wish to pick up a Risk Runner.
I think the issue was that it is going to the postmaster, which means that the mission doesn't track that you've picked it up.
Oh, okay. Right. Then Forsaken,
So now,
quest full. Again, not a lot that affects
Small fixes.
a lot of people. Small fixes.
It's weird because all the times they seem to update these things, I don't get them. I have never had half of these stuff.
Content Vault. Quick update on the plans for Cosmodrome and development, because obviously with the new strikes we were supposed to get the expanded Cosmodrome that basically allowed us to go through not all but most of the Sepix strike and
Saber
strike. At the moment both of their path lines are inaccessible outside of said strikes. Because there is like a crash. Something crashed and took down the bridge in the Cosmodrome bit to go to Sepix, and blah blah. So yeah, there's a there's a couple things obviously in the Year 1 DLC. Could go to the Cosmodrome, Taken King, and go to the back of
Oh yeah, I remember that was ages ago. Jeez.
Yeah, go to the back of Sepix's lair and you could open into the colony ship.
Yeah.
And in the public crawl spaces. So they're basically just discussing what they plan to do with Cosmodrome. I'm probably going to read through this and David sort of get through a bunch of. Not really too much to talk about on the whole thing, other than they are looking, changing up how the map works. There's been a bunch of hot fixes because people been freezing on Steam. One of the things is that a challenger medallion I'm approving. Now refund currency used. Salvager salvo can now be claimed from collection. Steam launch issues, known issues. So a known issue is Cabal Gold is not actually when it should be dropping from raid or dungeons.
Talking about dungeons, they changed one thing that kind of got to me. They're no longer getting the masterwork thing from Pit of Heresy.
Yeah,
They used to do that every week.
I hated that as well.
Doing Pit of Heresy bills.
Linear actuators no longer activates on Dune Marchers. I haven't actually noticed. I've been using them as well. I'm pretty sure they might be like a recent bug.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Antito. Isn't that what everyone kept getting when day one?
Yeah.
Of the client.
Then we've got you move fan film. Apparently this, like I seen a bunch of people tweeting about this, trying to find it. So I'm gonna watch this in a bit when we're done here. Apparently this is really good, really well done.
Yeah,
I did see this because Benji is one of the people I follow. If you don't know who Benji is, he's referred to as the Gambit King, member of Last Rites. And yeah, he gets an 8th column, technically, but with a throwing knife. That's it. He literally uses a throwing knife. I think maybe he hits one with his hand cannon to weaken it to begin with, or melees it. Then we've got Artist of the Week. They're covering a lot of artists now as well. And with everything that's going on, it's hard to keep track of the days of the week, depending on your time zone and when you're reading this. Today's Thursday, which is Friday. Is pretty excited for you to get some hands on some Trials gear this weekend. New armor, new weapon, very favorite. And the messenger can roll with Desperado. People are saying it's going to be overpowered.
You're lying.
Nope.
What?
It rolls with Desperado. Which, for those who don't know, is the perk that came with Redrick's Broadsword and Redrick's Claymore, which are the old pinnacle weapons for Crucible.
Yep.
So you're telling me I'm going to be running a messenger?
I think I need to play some more, play some
Goodbye.
trials. To be honest, that looks like it's going to be fun.
You're going to grind it tomorrow.
But yeah, 3, 5, and 7 as usual. So
everyone's going to just be running messenger and Felwyn does. You're not going to see anything else.
probably.
No.
At 120.
Maybe there's some stuff.
You'll get a 120 here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, about what I expected from the TWAB.
Yeah.
Covering a couple of issues we've had with the beginning of the season. That's really about it. But yeah, other than that, I will grab this video from Expo real quick if you want to sort of introduce, give us a bit of spiel from your side, DJ, of where people can find you, because I do post these on YouTube. Kit posts them on podcast platforms like Google, and we got Spotify ready yet, Kit? Or
You can tune in. Spotify saying when I try, because the Spotify is weird. It disappeared from my dashboard.
Right.
So I tried to add it again. And when I go to add the feed, it's like, nope, we're already tracking this feed. So it's on there, but when I search for it, I can't find it. Like
Wow.
if I open Spotify and search for any of our episodes, I just don't actually find them. But apparently they're there. But at least with Google and TuneIn, we have actual. So
Yeah, we have actual links
Yeah, those two.
that are in the description of video. So if people want to go and check them out and they're on YouTube, don't want to have the video going in the background, you just want to like have it on Google Podcasts or TuneIn and just like listen to the link
Yeah.
of the videos. Funnily enough, speaking of Benji, I had Pigeon open on my phone just to like keep an eye on some people I watch, and he raided Benji, so that's kind of funny.
Hog.
Those sites real quick. So I've got this clip real quick. Let me switch back. Back to this scene so the podcast can see it. And basically, so Expo is renowned within Favored as being like the cracked PvP player. Like pretty much, it's almost universally known within Favored as probably the best PvP player. And I just thought like this clip, and the fact that he his comment alongside it in our Discord was giving me Fair Winters was a mistake was just hilarious. So play this.
And just gonna sort of summarize here, really, while you're playing this. CJ, where can people find you?
You can find me streaming over at twitch.tv/CJBuller123. I stream pretty often. I'm taking more breaks recently, but you can probably see most days. And my Twitter is linked onto that if you want to follow me on Twitter as well. Everything of mine is just CJBuller123 because I'm very creative.
At least you're consistent.
Yes. Easy to.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people aren't consistent, and then they get sort of annoyed with themselves when they do something like what you have done, CJ, and say, "Oh well, here's my name. Like that's what I'm gonna call myself." Like,
Yeah.
online. You don't need any like classy name. It's whatever you want to, be known as, sort of thing. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was the end of the clip where he activated his super. I just thought it was pretty funny. He also, I don't know whether the sound came through like well enough, but he also put what was it? The soundtrack to Attack on Titan season 1 to it, like the opening
No. Classic.
sound. So it was like pretty funny. But yeah, at the beginning of the clip, he's second place, 9 to 10. He ends up winning it without like the guy who's in first place at the beginning of the clip getting the kill. So it was pretty fucking funny, I thought. And like I said, he turned around and says, "Giving me Fell Winters was a mistake." Yeah, Bungie, can we nerf Expo, please? Unless he's playing with me, and then you can, let him have free reign.
Limits are unlocked.
Yeah.
I wonder how much fun I'm gonna have with Fall Winters.
But yeah, I think we've basically covered everything.
I think so too.
Sounds good.
We've got where we can find you.
No,
be
there is one other thing.
One.
CJ, have you got anyone you think would be good to have on the podcast? Or that you'd like to come back on and talk to us alongside?
Oh, I haven't actually thought about that. Like, does it have to be like Destiny related, or could it be like anything?
No, we could have our Destiny thing and then sort of branch off onto other topics and stuff. Like we talked a little bit about Twitch before, so we could have like talk about other games and stuff.
I can't think of any top of my head that would do like I talk to that would do something like this.
Okay.
Probably Chinny 98. Give him a little shout out.
Well, the whole thing that this it's not just like a Destiny podcast. It's just
Yeah,
a big
so,
the big part of it because it's the game that me and Kit play quite regularly. Obviously, out of
Yeah.
his 5 days streaming, 2 of them are Destiny. The other 3 are
of
like
them are other things.
yeah, the other 3 are other things, but they only have like 1 day each or something. So
yeah.
Destiny's the main day, if you will. And
2
me,
days.
I stream like 5 days as well, and it's basically all Destiny. Unless I'm feeling another game, and then even then I'll probably start on Destiny, get something done, and then move on to that other game.
Yeah, surely.
So the main like aim, if you will, with this was more we ourselves, me, Kit, are connected with different people. I wouldn't have met you if it weren't for Kit, and then obviously as Fiend playing with you guys after I had to drop out of when we were farming Anarchy for Backlash in Season of Rivals. If it weren't for the combined, more so Kit though, and Lua, I wouldn't have really met you.
Yeah.
And there's some people that like I've introduced Kit to, like I think I introduced you to Sev, didn't I, Kit?
Yep.
And
Yes, you did.
Rafe and a couple other people. So it's like we enjoy sort of bringing the communities that we are part of. So I'm like obviously part of Sev's community, I'm part of Rafe's community, part of Fiend's community. All bringing them sort of together, and maybe one day you decide you're not going to go live, and you're like, who is live? Oh, I saw the guy we had last week on the podcast was Whittycoff. Go, oh, I saw him on Intrepidus and Kit's podcast, Rising Lights. I will maybe go and chill with him and see if he's like a cool guy, someone I like vibe with, and I want to raid him in future. You know what I mean? That sort of it's sort of opening the floor to people that are around about the same sort of size as all of us.
Yeah.
So people that you might not necessarily have met, you have an avenue to go, oh, you know what? So like next week we've got Sai on. You might be like, oh, I know Trep and Kit. Let's go and see what this Sai guy has to say, and sort of, and then maybe it branches into something like what me and Rafe, for instance. I met Rafe through Sev. I had no idea who Rafe was, and now I speak to him pretty much every time he's live. The guy lets us use his music and has basically said on this podcast, anyone can use their music, like his bands. So it's just connection. You know what I mean? That's basically what Rising Lights # Rising Ships. So the old saying, what's that? Rising tides raise all ships. So that's the whole thing. If we're building ourselves up, we're bringing you, Rafe, Sev, whoever with us.
Yeah.
So it's the whole sort of mentality, if you will. But yeah, very much appreciate you being on. Kit was a bit like, oh, do you mind CJ being live? No, I actually think it was actually great because we could get questions from your side as well. So,
yeah.
If there's ever anybody that asks that same question, I think we
yeah, okay.
I think we say yeah, to be honest, because this was actually really good.
I think we should probably end on the high note with everyone's all the connections and everything.
Yeah.
before we end up talking too much and taking up a load of extra time.
Well, one last point. DJ, I've just noticed what your channel points are called.
Oh, from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like,
Witty's whole stick is Dragon Ball is abridged, so.
oh,
Actually, on, so I might see if he's actually. Might go and
I love Dragon Ball.
have a look. Is he?
Oh.
Because he's not.
I don't see him on my list at the
No.
moment.
Okay, let's have a look.
Oh, well.
Who is live? Other than a clan. Ah. Hey Dragos, how are you? We're just finishing up, dude, at the podcast, so appreciate it.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. I know you're
There's
live,
no one
obviously.
online
But...
for me. Yeah, I'm gonna be ending as soon as we finish up. Yeah.
You know what?
Where are we going?
Let's go and hit Dune.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, a friend of ours who was in the chat earlier, Odis, his friend Dune Marchers has, I think, recently started streaming. I believe, don't quote me on this because I'm going to check it right now. I believe he's not hit affiliate yet. And one of the things when Bean hit and hands between them, as well as a bunch, and Ronin, as well as a bunch of other of my friends helped me get my affiliate, was as part of the Rising Lights, is we are pretty much going to help people get to that stage. So, since Dune Marches hasn't hit it, let's go and give him a hand.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for having me as well. It's been fun.
Yeah, we
No
appreciate you
problem
coming
at all.
along, man.
I'm used to doing stuff like so I was like season ticket. I was like, I don't usually do stuff like this, so excuse me if I'm bad.
No, it's fine.
But-
It's fine. Even if you were, it'd be covered up by how bad we are at it. So.
One thing I will say, Dragos, if you need to chat, DM me on Discord, dude. Feel free. I haven't got no problem. But yeah, we're gonna hit Dune Marches with the raid. I appreciate everybody for coming out and watching it. Thanks again for you to coming on, CJ, and anybody who is subbed to my channel. You can hit Dune Marches with the charge or the love or both, which are the ones I've just put in my chat. If you aren't subbed, then hit them with the generic Twitch raid emotes. If for whatever reason you've come over from CJ's chat and you're going in with a raid, hit him with a bunch of CJ's emotes, and just spam emotes basically.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you very much and good night.
Not at all.
Goodbye.